Hello fellow YouTubers. What I'm doing here is going to create a VM instance virtual machine with Google Cloud, and here we go. So after you log in, okay, I'm already logged in. Make sure you're here so we're on the same page. I'll try not to go too fast in case you're following along, but you can always pause the video as well. So you can click on console here or go to console here. So let's just click on console right here. Okay, then you'll be in your dashboard. Right up here in the corner you want the navigation menu. And come down here, we're going to use the compute menu. VM instances is already highlighted because it's the first one in the side menu, so just click on compute engine. Then we're going to be on the section here where it says VM instance. I will say I don't like the tiny print, and it takes away the there's also no scroll, so when I make it bigger, when I make the this bigger so I can read it, there's no scroll after I create it. But I'm going to make it bigger for now to work with the video, and then I'll show you that later. So click on create here, and then right here you have to create the name of your instance or leave it as it is. It must start with a lowercase letter, and it can have a number or hyphens in it, but it cannot end with a hyphen. I'm going to call it, this one's going to be a Linux VM, which I called it before. Alright, now this one relates to where you're logging in from to that server, or whoever will be logging into it. In this case it would be you. For me it would be me, so I'm going to pick Northern Virginia on the East Coast. Here I want to explain that first of all, I understand what they're talking about because I built computers with actual computer parts. But here I'm going to show you, we're going to start with just the smallest machine, and F1-micro is, I believe, the system that stays free. So if you want to just practice, it's great to use that one. But you do have $300 worth of money you can use for a year in your account. Google is the only one that does that for that long. So let's go down, let's click on, and so far this comes up very, very cheap right here, in case you wanted to keep the server. But click on customize, and here if you want to click on more what they call cores inside the CPU, you can, and you can add more memory. Really, when it comes to this right here, it all depends on the operating system and what you're going to be running on the server. In this case, I'm just creating a simple server just for demonstration. But what you want to do is you want to look up your hardware requirements for whatever the operating system you're creating, and then here you want to make sure you have those minimum requirements or more selected, and that will also include GPUs, but we'll talk about those later. Alright, so let's go back to basic view here. Okay, we'll skip this for right now. This is going to be the boot disk, and the name of the server, what we're going to put on the server, is Debian GNU Linux 9. I'm sure I didn't say it right. Okay, now here, compute engine default service account has to do with you already having something created. What I'm going to do is choose no service account so that we're all on the same page in case you This is the very first thing that you've created in your account. Alright, and then down here, I'm going to skip this for now, and you're going to click on management right here and click on security. Inside security, you want to look at your SSH keys, and what you need to do is you need to go to putty.com, and I only use Windows 10 as far as the demonstration goes. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. Oh my goodness. Alright, now org. Putty.org. I apologize. Putty is used in the Windows format. I'm not able to explain any other format at this time. That could be in a separate video. Alright, but since I already have Putty, I'm going to go back to my server right there. Alright, it says in the SSH keys, enter entire key data. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into Putty. Excuse the noise, other people live in the house, so I can't do anything about it. Let's see, and you'll look for Putty Gen right here. Okay, that'll generate the key. Alright, and what you're going to do is you're going to click on generate right here, and you're going to do this, because it's going to use this motion of the mouse to help create the key. Alright, okay, now at the end of this key is this information right here. This is going to be the login that you have onto the server. I'm going to create a separate login, and I'm going to call it Techie Admin for my login. Make sure you mark it down so that you know what it is, but it is at the end of the key, just like the other one was. So if you scroll down like this, you'll see that that is right here. The key passphrase you can create for your private key. For right now, we're going to use the public key. So what we're going to do, we can right click, select all, and then right click, copy, and then go back in here, right click and paste. Alright, and then go down here and you're going to create. But before I do that, I want to go back into Putty. Okay, go back into Putty, and I want to save my private or public key first. Now, I already did this, so I'm going to do it separately. Another one. So I'm going to call it public and save it as a public key. Yes, I'm going to copy it twice. And then I'm going to put my passphrase in here that has to do with logging into the server. Okay. And you'll see where you use this. So put a simple passphrase. It's just for you for right now. And then you're going to save the private key. And I have a separate one, so I just save over the one I have, right? Okay. Now then you're going to go down to Putty like this. Oh yeah, I just do it this way. Okay, so go down to Putty, and right here open up Putty where you see the connection there with two computers. So Putty, and what you're going to do in here is you're going to go all the way down here where it says SSH and then AUTH for authentication, and you're going to, it says private key file for authentication. What you're going to put in here is your private key. Okay, and then you go up here to session, and then you go over here to create, And as soon as see that I can't see over here, so that's what I'm talking about. Well, it has this, but that's pretty inconvenient. Pretty difficult there. So let's narrow it down. Alright. Hopefully you can see that. You get the idea that it's an external IP address. What you're going to do is you're going to copy that IP address. So highlight over it and copy it. And then you're going to go back down to right here where it says session in your PuTTY configuration. And you're going to put that IP address right here. Okay? Make sure leave everything as it is. And then click on open. You're going to get a warning. Basically, Windows wants to give you a security warning because you're connecting to an outside server. So I click yes on that. Log in. So this is where the login address is at the end of that key, the login name. So I put techie admin and I click enter, right? And then this is my passphrase that I typed in there. So you want to type in your passphrase, hit enter. You can't see what you type, just know what it is. And then once you see that come up, you can see that you're actually inside the Linux server. And that's how you create a virtual machine that is a Linux server. Something very simple. And what we can do later is practice with some Linux commands in order to see what they look like on the server and what they do and how do you work with Linux commands and so forth. So that's really why what's really nice about creating a Linux server. If you are working on certification for Linux and you don't have access to, you know, a Linux machine, this is how you can do it. Alright, I'm going to close this right now. Yes, I want to close it. Alright, now what I'm going to do here before I leave, oops, let me go back down to 100%. Alright, click right here, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to delete this server right here. Delete an instance. So this will delete the whole thing. And if you're not going to use it right away and it's just for practice, it's best to delete it and get rid of it. Besides, the more practice you have creating them, the better. The more, you know, experience you receive. So, alright. So now it's deleting it. And while it's deleting it, just want to let you know if you have any questions about, you know, any information through this particular process, just let me know down in the comments. I'm going to create some more videos one by one. And come on now. Alright. And also let me know of some other videos you might like to see. Okay, after it deletes, it goes right back to this page. This set right here. Alright, so everybody have a good Friday night, and thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell next to the subscribe, and that way you can know whenever, you know, you'll be notified whenever I upload another video. Thank you.